ever get in the car with me, I ain't got my glasses on, you're probably not safe.
Yeah. Right here. So welcome everybody. Welcome. We are live. Welcome everybody to my vlogcast. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to Thick Skin Only. Welcome right here. And we got two people. I'm kind of gonna let them host it. I'm gonna let Dionne and Alexander host it because we got a great rally coming up next month, September 28th, called the American First Unity Rally. And it's gonna be lit. We got a great lineup there. And I'm gonna let Dionne, Suzanne, they talk about this because we're gonna like this up. So it's good to have this. Actually, y'all the first time I've ever been on my YouTube channel.
It's true. It's true.
How y'all doing, y'all?
We're doing good. I'm excited.
Hey, you know what? I'm a little nervous about this little short time. Thanks to Suzanne for all of her efforts and helping me out, man. But you know, there's a lot of people that already booked their hotels and flights and set aside vacation for the Moore rally. So, you know, I decided to just, since Suzanne and I live so close, that we would continue on and, you know, turn it into something else and something a little more unifying than what we usually do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you know, I was really happy when Dionne called me because, you know, there's a lot of people who really love this rally. Moar has actually has been like a family reunion for all of us to come out and to just connect with other patriots, meet up with other people who support this country. Some who support, most who support the president. But to be fair and to be honest, if you were at the first Moar, you know Maurice just as well as we do. There were folks there who didn't support the president, but amazing things happened. So to let that fall away from some sort of circumstance and it can't happen just wasn't, I think, an option. I think it's so great that we're able, you know, I'm glad to be able to pick up the ball and run with it and make sure that the patriots who really value this rally have something, have a rally to come to. So I'm glad to be a part. And, you know, however we got to this point, we're going to rock on with it.
Rock on.
I tell you what, Maurice, my goal is to get people to fall back in love with this country. It should not take a tragedy for people to start coming together, waving flag and praising the United States of America. The last time that people unified, unfortunately, it was right after 9/11. You know, there were flags waving and people hugging and loving. And why does it take a tragedy to bring people together? That's why we are, you know, most of us are Trump supporters, but some are not. Some are Democrats, some are Republicans. But this is a rally for all. This is a rally for celebrating America and looking at how great we've been doing for the past 3 years, how the economy has risen, how Black unemployment has gone down. You know, all we need to do now is to get people to fall back in love with the United States of America. Why change the greatest country in the world?
Yes. Yeah. Question for you, Thaddeus. I mean, I like what you're saying. How long have you had this American First, your platform, American First? I mean, what made you want to start American First? I mean, is it based on what you just said?
Well, I tell you this. Back in 2008, I voted for Obama because I thought that it was going to bring something different. And quickly, in 2010, I realized that he's just another politician that is not doing anything for the country, but, you know, being the, quote, first Black president. And I was very upset and disappointed that, you know, they were bringing change and I didn't see no change. I had spare change that he left me after the Affordable Health Care Act, but that's the only change I saw. You know, it affected me negatively. Everything he did affected me negatively. And so in 2012, I decided not to vote at all. I said, I'm not going to vote. I can't stand this. So I didn't vote and he won again. And I was irritated. And I said, you know, there's no point for me being irritated. So in 2014, I said, I got to make a change. I got to make people aware of how these politicians are playing us like, you know, like pawns. Yeah. You know, they're not about the American people. We have 535 people, you know, 435 in the House and 100 in the Senate that are all about themselves and forgetting about the other 350 million people that live in this country. Yeah. So I wanted to unify the people of America. I mean, this is the only country where we hibernate. When I was in the military, I ran into a black guy in France, and I asked him, I said, "Hey, man, where are you from?" I'm like, "No, where are you from?" He goes, "My parents are French. I'm French. We're the only country that do this." So, me being black just identifies me better as American. I'm an American first. I just happen to be black. I just happen to be Christian. I just happen to be conservative. But at the end of the day, I'm an American.
Yes. American.
Well,
He's Alexander, America first.
Yeah, and Mo, a lot of people came to supporting this president because they were fed up with both parties. It's one of the things that I think is most frustrating when you talk to people who oppose the president, who hate the president. The Trump derangement syndrome people, is that they don't get. I didn't come to this because I'm a Republican and I love the Republican Party. I was a registered independent for 27 years. I literally felt both parties had screwed us over so badly so many times.
Amen.
When you saw a person outside of the political spectrum, somebody who was not a politician, somebody who was coming in from outside of the political establishment and saying things that were about not one party or the other, things that both parties have said, but in a way that made you feel like something was going to get done. And you look at the history, Donald Trump was actually the most vetted candidate ever because of Access Hollywood, the Inquirer. He's been smeared through the tabloids. We've known him for decades. So, you know what you're getting, and he's not a politician. And that's the first thing on my list. When people say, why did you vote for him? Well, because he's not a Republican and a Democrat in the typical sense of the word. He's not playing these two sides against each other, they end up just being one beast. They're like a two-headed beast, the political system is. And this is something different. Does everybody like him? No, he ran as a Republican. Great. That offends some people who are Democrats. But I encourage the Democrats to find themselves somebody who has that same spunk. And most importantly, and this is what they haven't found, that love of America, because all of the candidates they keep shoving down our throats on the Democrat side, they seem to hate America. They want to feature illegals over American citizens. They want to praise our enemies. They're busy trying to feel bad because China is finally being held to account for what they've been doing as far as manipulating their currency and all of the things that have been going on globally, which we all talked about the whole time. The Occupy Wall Street kids, they talked about that the whole time. We all talked about this. But all of a sudden, because somehow the left tells them you got to hate Donald Trump, if they looked into it, I think they might like him a little better. But I hope they find somebody similar to do the same thing that's happened here in the Republican Party to the Democrat Party. Find an outsider who can really shake up the establishment. I pray for it every day.
Well, I tell you what, Suzanne, like you said, Donald Trump, he's the most vetted. He's been in the public eye for 30, 40 years, and he's never been called a racist until he became president. But you got to look. Hillary Clinton was vetted. We've seen what she's done. We've seen her politics. I've seen her call me a super predator because of my age and my color while I served under her husband in the United States military. I saw her create private prisons that mostly their investors are federal judges. I've seen all of that. I saw her support a grand dragon of the Ku Klux Klan, Senator Byrd of West Virginia, claiming that was her mentor. I've seen these things, and all I've seen was negative.
Yeah, it's totally true. And it's kind of shocking because, as a comedian, I did a lot of comedy in the black comedy scene. So I hung out. All of my black comedians, none of them liked Hillary Clinton. Nobody liked Hillary Clinton until she ran against Donald Trump. It's kind of like nobody hated Trump until he ran as a Republican. Well, none of my friends liked Hillary Clinton until she ran against Trump. So it's kind of funny what the politics and what the propaganda and what the media has really convinced people to believe.
Right. Well, the media has gone rogue. I mean, people under 40 will never remember a guy named Walter Cronkite who told the news, didn't slant it, and said good night and left you to your own opinion.
Yeah.
You know, they'll never experience that. They will never experience that type of media where you were given information, and you were left to decide what to think.
Right. No, now we literally are given an opinion, and we have to just go and even decide if what they're talking about even happened. I mean, look at the Amazon fire situation. They've totally fake news that so bad. Even Forbes magazine has come out with an article talking about all of these pictures these celebrities are sharing are from 10, 20 years ago. They're hyping something that isn't even real. But for the average person, I mean, I watch a lot of news. You know, I do this show, I do Trump Talk US, so I follow a lot of news. But for people who don't follow, how can you possibly deal with that? How can you possibly handle that constant misinformation? And we didn't used to have that as a country. It's tragic.
I think people should be held accountable for lies when they are. I think the media needs to be held to be more responsible when they know something's fake. Don't put it out there. I mean, they're scrutinizing all of us independent journalists out there on Facebook and YouTube by telling us not to spread fake news, but you're allowing all these celebrities to put out this fake news. And I'm surprised they haven't said Trump caused the Amazon fires. I heard he burned down Shirley Shed.
Oh, Shirley in that shed.
I heard he burned it. I heard the Democrats say that Donald Trump burned down Shirley Shed. It wasn't like
yeah.
It's crazy what we've come to. And let me tell you this.
Tell us this.
The people in power want us divided. You take, for instance, did you hear about them giving reparations for the LGBTQ community?
Oh, Elizabeth Warren. She talked about that shit.
Okay. Do you understand why they're doing that? Because the first thing that a lot of blacks are going to do is like, why are you giving it to them? And now you caused another divide in this country.
Right.
People need to wake up and see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
wake up. Really do. Wake up. Stop being asleep. Wake the hell up. When you gonna wake your sorry tails up? Because this stuff is real life. Wake up.
Hey, Mo, why am I giving the LGBTQ reparations? For what?
For what?
Right.
Well,
and let's be honest.
This is something I want to say, but I want to get
should the B even, isn't the B kind of like when when they say they want black reparations? Well, what if you're Obama and you're half white and you're half black? You just write a check to yourself. I mean, does the bisexuals just write a check to themselves? I'm confused about all these reparations.
Well, I'm confused of where all this money is coming from to take care of all these illegal immigrants by giving them free housing and health care, and also giving out reparations to blacks and the LGBTQ community. And you still have millions of homeless people living in all these cities like LA and Chicago and Atlanta.
That's right.
Where are you getting this money from? If you got all this money, those people shouldn't be living in the street. We shouldn't have a Skid Row.
Right.
You got all this money.
Real talk.
And all my gay friends are rich.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Well, because they ain't spend money on those kids. Kids are expensive.
All my gay friends got money. I don't know how. Mm-hmm. All my gay friends got money and nice stuff.
Yeah. I know a few poor gays, let's be honest. I know a couple, but I know a lot of rich ones too. So.
Oh, yeah. You go to Piedmont in Atlanta.
Yeah, they got the good credit score, though. I'm not that blessed. I did not benefit from that in any way. So no, but that's what when Dionne said, let's do an American First Unity rally. Let's make it something that, we're embracing people who are supporting this country. And, if that manifests in supporting the president, wearing this MAGA hat, great. If it manifests and you're a Democrat and you want to come wear your Obama shirt, I don't care. Come to rally in whatever you want to wear. Be yourself, support America. That's really the whole thing. We used to have a beautiful melting pot of a country where the beauty, they always say that diversity is our strength. Well, it is if we're coming together in that diversity. If we're diverse, but we don't talk to each other and we stay hidden in our own little neighborhoods and we are afraid of one another, then it's not our strength, it's our weakness. Divided, we fall. United is where we stand. So, I love diversity of thought. Life would be so boring if we actually just agreed on everything all the time. And it's one of the things that's made this political season we're in so difficult, because everybody has to be in an echo chamber. And if you don't agree with them, it's insults, it's slander. They want to go to houses, they dox you, your car's in danger. It's ridiculous when what this country was built on was differing opinions, having a dialogue. So I think it's so great that we're putting together an event that can feature that dialogue again. And that's what I want to invite everybody to come and enjoy.
Well, what I would like to add one thing, and me personally, I don't have anything against the rebel flag, but I would prefer they not be there simply because the mainstream media, that's what they're going to focus on.
Right.
There could be 1,000 black folk out there, and they're going to focus on that one guy with the rebel flag.
Right.
Or anything negative. We don't have to be controversial to celebrate America.
We don't.
A rebel flag doesn't offend me. Hell, a Klan's outfit don't offend me. But the bottom line is this, is that we do not want them to focus on the negativity of anything that we're doing.
Right. Yeah. And that's what the media does. The first thing they grab on, they did the same thing. I mean, you saw everybody's been replaying the whole Charlottesville. Donald Trump said white nationalists are great people. They take whatever little snippet of that hotbed issue that's going to piss people off, and then they run with that in the media and they use that to slander and smear. So that's why I agree. I am a proud unionist, by the way. I support the union and the abolitionists that support it. But I believe in keeping up our Southern statues, keeping up the statue of Robert E. Lee, keep waving the Confederate flag, if for no other reason to remind folks what happens when you try to break this country up.
Absolutely. Well, it's educational too.
Yeah.
We have to keep it. Right now, it looks like these socialist politicians are trying to erase history and reprogram the youth. Hitler said it a long time ago, if I can take your youth, I'll take your nation in 20 years.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. You indoctrinate them and you take over the school systems and you tell them what they should know and not what you tell them what you want them to know. I mean, they've already taken out cursive writing. So now they can tell these young people who don't know how to read cursive exactly what the Constitution says, not because they can't read it.
Right.
So they can tell you anything.
Yeah, you're stuck trusting somebody else instead of your own eyes. And then we become sheep instead of thinkers.
Right. I mean, that's exactly why I don't have tattoos, because I always want an Asian symbol. I don't want no guy telling me it says something else. And then I come to find that says dumb black guy or something like that. Read it yourself, man.
Oh, Dionne.
You don't want to have that. You need to research. If you don't speak Japanese, don't get no Japanese symbol on you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's permanent. So
it is permanent.
I do have a Roman numeral 45 on my shoulder, though, in honor of this president. But to be fair, I turned 45 that same year. So it was honoring both 45 years on this planet and happened to be President 45. So
we're about the same age, me and you. So
yeah, we are.
I'll be 47 next month.
There you go. And I'll be 48 in March. So you're like 6 months off.
That's rough. I'm the old man.
Yeah, you're the old man.
I'm pretty sure you can read Roman numerals.
Yes.
But these children who can't read cursive and they're looking at these historical documents, they are screwed.
Yeah. Well, and I was very careful. I not only read them, but I triple researched to make sure it was the one I wanted, and then I brought it to the tattoo guy and said, "Put this," because I can be smart, but the tattoo guy can be stupid, and we don't want that either. So.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Sometimes you gotta draw them a picture. Well, I don't think you have to have a master's degree to put tattoos on people, but whatever.
Right.
But if you got that much trust in people, I don't. So, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want people to give me information just because they said so. See, we don't live in a society of where we have to ask questions in society now.
Right.
Before, we just follow.
The censoring.
Yeah, they're slowing it down. You can say.
They're slowing it down. If you can kick yourself off, come back on, Dionne, it'd be good, bro. They're censoring you right now because now you tell me the truth.
They hate when you tell the truth. They
hate
hate.
the truth, but we're gonna keep this panel going on. Then, if you can hear me, kick yourself off and come back on.
So to follow up, though, bring your American flags. Bring your Trump flags. Bring all of that. Bring your patriotism. Wear your MAGA hat. Wear your Trump gear. Wear your Patriot gear. Wear your Second Amendment shirts. All of that. We support this country. I support this. We show this in my show all the time. We support this little guy right here, the Constitution of the United States. That's all I've ever wanted from this country.
Mm-hmm.
So it's skinny. It's easy to read, actually. So.
Yeah.
They won't even let me leave, y'all.
They won't let you leave. You got to kick yourself off. See,
they don't want me to stay, and they don't want me to leave.
Mm-hmm.
I just love what's going on with the internet.
They got let's get this nigga type of attitude.
Yeah.
And you know what? I really don't have an attitude now. I'm not a pacifist. Don't get me wrong, but I don't have time to argue with people. You know what I'm saying? We can disagree, and but don't spit or throw something. I'm gonna slap the taste out your mouth. I just put it right out there, and it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, well, I learned very early how to take a punch and then stand there and make sure the cops take you away while I smile and wave. This is what if you attack me at a rally, this is what you're gonna see as the cops take you away.
Well, Mo, I'll put it to you like this: it's hard to tell on me when you're sleeping.
Oh! This is what I'm talking about. This get on you at the right platform.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep my platform clean. I said the N-word. Sorry.
It ain't clean, man. I tell these people, I get a lot of little guys approach me, man. I tell them I wear a size 15 ring and a 15 shoe.
Yeah.
I'm going to knock you completely out.
Knock you the hook out.
Yes, you are not. Yeah, you can't tell them me. When you out for 3 minutes, I'm halfway back to Front Royal.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what's crazy? Because I know every one of us has stood in a crowd of crazy Antifa leftists. They are pussies unless they're with a group.
Now you cussing.
They're all by themselves.
The channel clean right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. I curse too.
I know. Mine too. Usually, I'm already cussing more than I ever do on my own show, so that's fine. No, they're weak. They don't attack when they're by themselves. It's in a group.
Well, you know what? I found it funny. When I'm in a group of Antifa, I feel like an endangered species. They're like, don't touch it. It's going to die. It's one of the few. Like, it's weird. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're scared I'm going to hit them hard, or they are so brainwashed that Black people are oppressed and they shouldn't hurt us. You know what I mean?
Odd they don't have that feeling about women, I've noticed. So
no, they don't. Or children.
Right.
Or children. I feel like a sea turtle. Don't kill it. You know what I'm saying?
You're the reason we banned straws, is what you're saying. You're the reason why I can't have a straw in DC. I see how it is.
Yes, man. I'm like a black sea turtle. It's endangered. No, Black people are not endangered. We are not. We are not oppressed because you want to tell me I'm oppressed.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's this crazy thing, for example, the voter ID issue. One of the things they always bring up is that it's racist to ask for voter ID. And I always turn that around and say, are you saying that black people are incapable of getting an ID. They don't know where the DMV is. I don't understand nothing sounds more racist than, oh, poor black person, let me help you because you can't live your own life on your own.
Right. I saw the girl said, well, a lot of black people don't have the internet. Like, really? Like, I don't understand. They don't understand how racist that sounds. Look, I got a lot of black friends. I got a lot of white friends. Everybody I know has an ID. Now, I'm not going to say all of them can drive legally, but they got some kind of identification.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they can vote.
Right.
I don't know many, but when they say this, and let me tell you, when I was in Charlottesville and I had 20 middle-aged white women talking about, we need to speak for you. You're oppressed. Woman, you are 5'2", 130 pounds. There's nothing you can do to help me. I do not need you to speak for me. You don't know my life. And she rode up in a Hyundai. I'm sitting here driving a 2020 Highlander with 1,000 miles on.
Yes.
I'm oppressed.
Well.
Yeah, I drive a 95 van. I'm more oppressed than you if that's what we're basing it on.
I wish I had a 95 van. Shit.
I think Suzanne needs to sign up for her white privilege. She needs to sign up for her white privilege. They forgot.
I never got the forms. They didn't send them to me. Nothing. I've been calling into the white privilege office every day. They're like, call back tomorrow. We're at lunch. Nothing.
No, I told every white person, if any white person that I know have white privilege, please let me know. I'll move in with you. I'll be your best friend. I will drive drunk everywhere I go.
Let me tell you, man, all my friends, I got a couple with a little bit of money, but let me tell you, most of my white friends are just like me. They work every day. Some of us blow money. Some of us save money. They're just like every day. They have to go to work. If you got white privilege, you shouldn't have to go to work.
And yet, my bills seem to not pay themselves, so they still expect me to send them money every month. So I don't know what it is.
No.
So Suzanne, you have never gotten that check in the mail that said to Suzanne Monk, and where it said it said white privilege. You never got one of those.
No, I never got that. I never get ahead in any lines. I'm not skipping lines anywhere. I don't even ride in the pay lot, the speed pass lines, because I can't afford to pay that bill when Virginia takes all your money out at the end of that road. So none of it.
Oh, I thought white people got those for free because of white privilege.
No, I got none of that. None of that. I have gotten out of a few tickets because I have boobs, but I'm pretty sure that works with black boobs and white boobs.
Yeah, they don't care about boobs.
That still works with the black boobs. Yeah. I've seen it work with both. So
they don't care what color the boobs are.
They don't care.
I don't think many guys do.
Yeah.
And there's some women out there that let you go.
Well, maybe that's what we need to bring in the country back together is boobs. Because listen, everybody loves boobs. Okay? Women have boobs. We love our boobs. Men love our boobs. Doesn't matter what color the boobs are. Little boobs, big boobs, all the kind of boobs. Lesbians love boobs. And you know what? You know who loves boobs more than anybody? Gay guys. Have you ever been around a gay guy? They can't keep their hands off boobs. I'm just saying.
They like man boobs.
Be what bring the country back together.
They like man boobs.
They like women boobs too. You guys don't have boobs. You do not understand this. Gay men feel that they can fondle any woman's breast. The big, if y'all can figure out how to convince women you were gay, you could get free titty feels every single day of your life.
I've noticed that, and women let them touch their breasts too.
Yes,
I've noticed that.
Yep.
I wonder if I can get me a gay day pass.
Stop it,
you know what I'm saying? Like, he's a man.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a gay day pass.
Maybe Andre can rent a gay pass out for the day or something. We'll find out.
And in 24 hours, you grab random titties. Mm-hmm. Wow. That's off the chain.
Yeah.
You know, everybody in this nation, I mean, the way the politicians are separating us is that they do their typical come to your neighborhood, make you a bunch of promises, and tell you the other person across the track is the bad person.
Right.
We as American people need to stop doing that. We need to stop falling for it.
Yep.
We need to start electing more patriots and less politicians. Politicians are mostly liars. They're lawyers. So lawyers, liars, both start with an L.
Mm-hmm.
We need to come together as American people and start vetting our own people within our neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and this idea, I feel like the two parties basically divided up the country. The Republicans took the rural areas, the Democrats took the urban areas, and the problem becomes is even if you don't agree with everything the other party, even if you don't agree with their principles, if you live in a Democrat city and those Democrats know you're only going to vote for a Democrat, they've got you over the barrel. There is nothing you're able to do to challenge them, to pressure them to actually live up to their promises. You're screwed, basically, is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should, we should take this a step further and see how this goes, and we can have the American party, right down the middle. I mean, Suzanne, I'm sure you and I don't agree on certain issues.
Sure.
Certain things are more important to you than they are to me, and vice versa.
Sure.
But we can come together on the main issues of this country, and that is what the president is supposed to do, which is national security. People don't understand that. Your legislative branch is the one supposed to be passing law. So when you see things are not being done, that is your legislative branch. And then we need to get back to these reps. Take care of your area. Elijah Cummings, why are you worried about the border when Baltimore is crap? AOC, why are you worried about the border? Why are you worried about the border when New York City is in rambles and you're running out business and group ethics? Why are you running all over these other places? And Maxine Waters, you got the worst district in California. Why are you worried about the border? You need to represent your people, which you are not doing. And people need to start realizing that.
And this is what ticks me off the most. Every single one of these politicians has said almost everything that Trump has said. We have videos of Obama talking exactly the same way about the undocumented minors that are coming into the country. And he said, don't send your kids because we'll send them back. He sounded exactly like Donald Trump, saying the exact same things. But once the politics flip, then their whole position flips. And it just lets you know none of that was real. It's kind of like when you have a friend who was totally nice to you and then they stab you in the back and you're like, so everything you said was fake the whole time.
Right. And then you got people like AOC who is so misinformed. How are you going to compare the detention centers to concentration camps?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I would compare them to? Jail. You know why? Because you committed a crime. You came over the border illegally and you went to jail. And that's what they do in jails here. You commit a crime and you go to jail. So it's not equivalent to concentration camps. It's equivalent to what it's supposed to be. Jail, crime, jail. It applies to me. It should apply to anybody who crosses this country and comes in here illegally.
Yeah, and frankly, I think if you're going to bring a child, this is what they don't want to pay attention to, and which I talk about it all the time. The problem is we have so much human trafficking. We have so much child trafficking and sex trafficking going across the border. Many, 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 maybe even up to 2/3 of these children that are coming across the border are not with a parent. They're not with a family member. We have to do a genetic test to make sure they're with somebody because they don't have the documentation to prove that. And so it literally is protecting these children to detain them until we can determine that they're actually not with a kidnapper, but they're with a family member. And any one of us, if you said, should the government allow children to stay with their kidnapper? You'd say no. But as soon as you say, well, what about if they're illegal? All of a sudden that changes the whole thing. And that's because it's been made a hot button issue, not by people, because people are logical. We can get it by the politicians who profit off of that crap.
Well, you got to look at this also, Suzanne. So there is an issue with child trafficking in this country. But the reason why there's an issue is because, unfortunately, there is a demand in this country for children. That's the sad part of it. I mean, you look at the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing. They're trying to cover up so much stuff. It's ridiculous. There are so many people involved in this. There is a demand, or people wouldn't even be bringing it here. If there wasn't a demand for heroin, they wouldn't bring heroin here. So if people are bringing children here for sex trafficking, there is a demand for it.
Yeah. And that demand, you see, that is something that we've been covering up in this country for a very long time.
A very long time, right? Yeah.
And this Epstein thing is blowing that up. And, it's funny because I have friends from all across the political spectrum. Everybody now thinks Epstein's a jerk. Everybody thinks Epstein's a sick puppy. And but everyone's pouring over the flight log list to see if they can score some points on which party or whichever party. I'm telling you right now, there are Republicans and there are Democrats who have been on that plane. There are Republicans and there are Democrats who are pedophiles in this country. There are Republicans and there are Democrats who you are going to see quit their jobs, get fired, get kicked out of office, and get called to the carpet. It's not a partisan thing. Both sides of the aisle. There are some sick puppies.
They definitely are. And, they're trying to say Prince, was it Prince Harry? Come on, man. You're a prince. You want a 10-year-old? Nasty bastard.
Bring it.
Yeah.
I mean, all that stuff needs to be exposed. All those papers need to be made public.
Come on now.
They're sitting there covering for all their friends. Look, this is no different. This is no different than the segregated South when blacks would get hung and their sheriff buddies would cover for it. That's the same thing politicians are doing right now to all American people, no matter what color you are. If it's their friend or they're in power, they're just going to cover it up. We need to start exposing it.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. Go ahead.
Ain't nothing but
I'm not
facts.
going to ramble right now. Go ahead, because I will ramble right now. Go ahead.
Mo, let me tell you this, man. There are so many dirty, nasty people in this country that sit there and smile on their face, touching little kids. You look at Roy Jones down in Alabama. There's no way I would vote for that guy. You know what I'm saying? They try to cover that up. Bill Cosby been touching kids for 40 years. Now you want to bring that up. R. Kelly run around peeing on people. Now you want to bring that up. Why you letting your kid over there? Why you sending your kid over Michael Jackson's house to take a shower?
Thank you,
dumbass. Just nasty.
Go back and edit that.
The parents are just as nasty as the pedophiles that they take their children to.
Yeah. And let's add Woody Allen to that. We watched him groom his own stepdaughter for sexual exploitation. We watched that in front of our face. And there's this problem, it's taken this much level of disgust for people to get so fed up with Hollywood and with entertainers. We would accept almost anything from our entertainers. R. Kelly is such a big example. I mean, Bill Cosby, O.J. Simpson, for crying out loud. We've accepted so much unacceptable behavior because people are famous, because they make a good movie. And we've finally gotten to the point where people are disgusted enough by that behavior. I don't watch anything new. I don't watch new movies anymore because every time something comes on and you see somebody who has lost their mind or somebody you know is a pedophile, somebody you know is a criminal, somebody you know is a sexual exploiter. And it's killed a lot of culture for me. But I think we had to get to the point where we were ready to put the movies down, put down the Netflix. We can't Netflix and chill. We have to stand up and do what's right and not just be entertained sheep.
Well, you take a look at even Kevin Spacey, or you look at the reality shows. What is that? Sin Island or whatever, where you're set up to cheat on your spouse or whatever. Look what our culture has become. I mean, it started way back with road rules. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Morals have dropped below standard.
Yeah.
We don't even have a standard anymore.
No, it's a one-up. You remember when they first came out with the show Married at First Sight, and everyone was so shocked. Oh my God, you're going to do what? And then once that show comes out, that taboo has been broken, and now it's the next thing, and it's the next thing, and it's the next thing. And I swear to you, mark my words, there's going to be child drag queen shows on television. on television. That's
Ain't that a switch?
Right.
Damn. Somebody hit me, why don't you? Give me your best shot, y'all. What the hell? Go ahead, man. I'm rambling. Go ahead. I don't want to ramble right now.
Go ahead, Mo. Let Mo. I know this bothers you. You got children.
Yeah.
No, this just bothers me, man. I'm tired. I'm tired of the. See, I'm trying to keep my language down, but I'm tired of the nonsense. I'm tired of the nonsense. I'm tired of the Hollywood agenda because they're doing things that's unnormal. They want to sexualize children. You got
you even look at the EU. Look at the EU, the European Union, where they're trying to make it okay.
Yep.
Let me tell you, it doesn't have to be my child, but if they try to make that okay, and I see somebody talking to a 5-year-old sexually, slapping the taste out your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
It's not okay. Europe has always been, me being in the military, Europe has always been kind of open sexually, even with children. You go to these countries like Thailand and even England, where, there's plenty of kids there that the parents will let you have. In the Philippines, you can get a 13-year-old girl for $30 for a whole 2 months.
Damn.
It's been like that. It's been like that forever, Mo.
No, somebody got mad at me because I made the joke. We didn't need Pedophile Island. We already had Thailand.
Right. And we had many doctors flying over, lawyers, politicians flying over. And they just recently, I would say, Suzanne, about 5 years ago, they started prosecuting those people when they came back. Yeah.
Roman Polanski, he's been overseas forever because he was accused of sexually abusing a young girl. So it's been going on a long time. And I'll just tell you, I'll tell a little bit about myself, a little bit, that I don't care what you do as an adult. I have been at every level and throughout my life. If you're an adult and you want to be into S&M, you want to dress up like a horse, you want to play dog games, you want to be a furry, I don't care what you do as a consenting adult. That is your business. Whatever kink you have, do you. But
Amen.
when it goes to a child, when it goes to somebody who is not capable of making that kind of adult decision, that's where you lose me 100%. I literally used to make women's clothes for men. I used to help transsexual, transgendered, cross-dressing men who wanted to look like women. I'd help them pass even better. That's what I did in my 20s. I was an ally before there was an ally. So people come to me and they go, well, Suzanne, do you understand there's trans kids? I'm like, no, I don't understand that. That's child abuse, because that's something that should be reserved for an adult. Frankly, just like sexual behavior. I know kids have sex at a young age, but we should encourage them. As the adults, we should be the ones who go, no, don't do that. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to screw up your life. It's going to affect you negatively. The same thing with drug use, the same thing with drinking, the same thing with smoking. When you're a grown up, do you. I don't care. Yes. But we cannot encourage children, and we certainly can't use children to benefit ourselves as adults. That's exploitation, and it's just pure evil.
Well, Mo, I'll tell you straight up, man. It's very personal to me being a molested child, and that was very hard for me to come to terms with being a man. I know what it was like. Now I told, and things were handled, but still the scars remain. I still have issues. I don't like men to get aggressive with me. I don't like men to touch me. That came from my experience where I did not participate. So it really bothers me being that person. Now, people like me become one of two things. Either they do children the same way they were treated, or they're very protective. Thank God that I picked up the latter.
Real talk. Straight from your mind.
And that's how the cycle, that's how the cycle continues. And unfortunately, we're putting people we're literally, I just read an article about it, and I've seen a few of them trying to normalize this idea of pedophilia, trying to that children can experience. Look, of course, we're human beings. All of us can experience physical pleasure. It doesn't have to do with is there pleasure? It has to do with, can I, as a child, understand the ramifications of my actions? Can I, as a child, say no? Or do I look up to an adult and do what they tell me because they're an adult? That power relationship is the problem. Frankly, it's the same problem when you have somebody like a Monica Lewinsky being exploited by a Bill Clinton. You are in the position of power. That person under you does not have the power to really say no.
Right.
And that's why you cannot. Kids are not off limits. They're off limits because they don't know how to say no, nor do they have the power to say no.
Well, a lot of people cover things. There's a lot of, I mean, you remember the Fugees, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ready or not, here I come.
Yeah, you remember that? Well, you know what happened to Wycliffe Jean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had kids with all of his daughters.
This nigga, hold on, bro.
Right.
Bro.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Did you know that?
Nigga, I didn't know that.
Oh, he in prison. Had kids with all of his daughters, helped him trap his wife and everything. Had kids with all of his daughters. The kids are like 20 some years old. But they keep it quiet. Yeah.
Are you serious, dude? See, now you want, see, now I'm about to be petty right now, but I'm not, because I'm promoting the rally right now.
You need to go ahead and look at the Fuji. That dude was off the chain, man. He wouldn't let his kids leave the house, didn't let the kids that he had with his daughters go to school. He did this for years, man.
Listen, everybody. This rally we got coming up is bigger than a rally right now. This is bigger than being seen. American first. It's about we're gonna stop these pedophilia. We're gonna stop these freaking perverts. We're gonna stop them.
We got to.
This is what this promotion is about.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Please don't get me started because I get emotional. No. I'm gonna say damn for right now. But I will get emotional because I'm tired of the perversion. I'm tired of the grabbing the wee, grabbing little stuff, whatever. No, I'm sorry. Why you think women are shaved now? Because let me stop. What? Let me shut up.
Yeah, you need to be tired of it, Mo. You need to be tired of it. You need to be loud. You need to be tired of it. Man, this stuff is rampant.
Why do you think women are shaved now? Why do you think women shave coochies now?
We need to stop this exceptionalism. You look at all these celebrities that flew to Italy for a green earth Google conference with 400 jets flying out of LA.
Yeah.
That's exceptionalism. They're telling you, we don't want you doing it, but since I am who I am, I'm going to do it. And that's the same way they're doing these children. No, you shouldn't touch children, but I got a lot of money, so I can touch a kid.
Right. And that's wrong to everybody, whether I wear this hat, whether I wear Michelle Obama for 2020, it doesn't matter. Any rational human being is going to find exploiting children, exploiting women, exploiting men, exploiting innocent people, stealing our money, thinking you're better than us, a double standard legal system where it's illegal for me, but it's not illegal for you because you have money. That's what Occupy Wall Street was all about, you guys. It was about so many of the people who went to that were there because they were fed up with these banker elites, these big corporate elites who get to do whatever they want and affect the rest of the country. Now, that I didn't agree with all of the positions and there's or solutions that they offered, but that outrage at there is a two-tiered system between these elites and the regular citizens, that outrages everybody. And it shouldn't matter what party you're from or what president you voted for or what president you didn't vote for. I think we're all outraged at that. And these are the things we can unite on. We can unite on we want to be free. We can unite on we should have the right to speak our mind, and that should not make us afraid for our job, afraid for our next meal, afraid to get physically assaulted. Nobody sane believes that you should get punched in the face because I disagree with you. That's not anybody's rational opinion. If you think that, you're not this. You're not American.
Hey, man, people need to understand. Look and listen to what your politicians say. If it doesn't make sense, then you need to start thinking logically and not emotionally. When you see people like Cory Booker screaming, oh, we got to stop the gun violence, our children are dying. but then he signs a bill that allows 350,000 abortions a year. What children is he trying to protect? Does he really care about children, or is he just trying to get your vote?
Right. And even worse, some of these guys are at the same time signing, it's kind of like a lot of these issues, particularly the climate change. They love this issue. They just did a research that said the most effective thing you can do to reduce CO2 in the world is to plant a tree. Yes. Now, have you heard one politician tell you they want to come and spend money to plant trees? No. All of their solutions is we want tax credits. We want to pass the money around. We want to figure out how to take money from this company and give it to this wealthy group. None of it is actually a solution. You have to look at what they're suggesting. And if it doesn't solve the problem, then they're not trying to solve the problem. They're just trying to rip you off and take a little skim off the top in the process.
I tell you something else that's very important. So I worked for the Pentagon, the CIA, the FBI. I had top secret SCI, SBI clearance. I was thoroughly investigated every 5 years to keep my clearance. My ex-wife also had the same clearance, and her clearance was taken for a year because her brother, who she didn't even talk to, married a woman who was German in the army.
Out of here.
So, yes. So the reason why they used to check and see if you were gay, they checked your credit, and they also checked and see if you had any direct relatives in another nation. And the reason why they did that, if these relatives lived in a hostile nation, then they could get your family and threaten your family to get you to do certain things while you're in the government. And they check your credit so that maybe you might be blackmailed to pay off your debt. But no congressman or senator has a clearance, but their staffers have to get one. So now you have reps and senators that are privileged to our national security that don't even get a background check. Rashida Ali has a grandmother who lives in Palestine.
Right.
How come they haven't touched her grandma?
Right.
You know how those people are.
Yeah.
Right.
How come they haven't touched Omar's family?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You let an American go over there and they're going to snatch you up right away. Yeah. I can guarantee it. I've been there. I've seen it.
Yeah.
So now you got politicians with direct relatives, mother, father, grandmother in hostile nations, not just foreign nations, hostile nations that are privileged to your national security information. Now, what kind of sense does that make?
Yeah.
This kind of sense. It makes the only kind of sense it makes is suicide. It is national suicide. That's what we're doing to ourselves.
You can't even, to be a janitor, to work in the Pentagon. I had a friend who was a janitor. He had to have a clearance. Mm-hmm. Politicians are the only ones who do not have background checks.
Yeah.
Now, this is something else.
Let me tell you something. Yeah, well, I'm going to add something else to that because, we have a lot of people, particularly a lot of my Democrat friends, they get so upset about this pay-to-play politics and money has influenced everything. Well, guess what? As soon as you show up and you've won the office, how do you think they get those committee appointments? They don't get them because they're an expert in that issue. I believe Omar's on the Foreign Affairs Committee. She's not an expert in foreign affairs. That's not how she got that. You raise money and you pay for that seat. Those seats on the committee are paid for based on how much money you can raise for the party. So we have a pay-to-play system all the way up to it. And, the only hope we actually have is to inspire real citizens, people like Marjorie Greene out of Georgia, many of our great patriots.
Marjorie Greene is my girl.
I love her, and she's running for Georgia. She's doing great. The Democrats are afraid of her. They're already fundraising against her because they're so afraid because has integrity, because she's not somebody who is going into office just to get more power, just to play the game. She's somebody who's going to go and challenge that system. And if we get enough politicians to challenge the system, we can fix it. But it's going to take a whole overthrow. We got a generation to fix this country, you guys. And we have to keep going, which is why having a unity rally, bringing people back together on both sides, on all sides of different issues, is going to be so important. Bringing Americans back together to stand against those who have taken this away from us. We have to come together. Taking our constitutional liberties away from us, we have to come together regardless of partisanship, regardless of color, regardless of gender, regardless of sexual orientation, religion, what have you, because this is what's being stolen from us by a bunch of people who have money and clout. And look how far they're willing to go. They're willing to exploit children. They're willing to operate whole networks of exploitation and crime just because they can.
Well, here's the thing. Back to what I was talking about as far as the security clearance. Let me tell you what else this would solve. If you did a security clearance on any politician, or whether it's the attorney general or whatever office, then you wouldn't have these 20-year pop-ups of so-and-so, this, that, and the other, because it would have already came up.
That's right.
They knew stuff about me that my mother didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I had no clue about. They checked everything, Murray. Everything. And if you had this vetting system, or even did a secret background check, all these things that they could never bring up anything about AG Barr or the Supreme Court Justice or any of this other stuff, because it would have already been out there. You would have already you would have already did the background check.
Well, that's something, used to be something that the parties would do when they let you come up as a candidate. As you ran for office, they would do this kind of check and make sure that you weren't going to embarrass the party. But it has become more about winning and playing identity politics.
Yes, identity.
It's not about whether or not you're fit for office. It's whether or not you fit the check boxes for their identity politics game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But like I said, they work for the government just like I did, or just like the janitor did at the Pentagon. They should have to get the same clearance and go through the same scrutiny and investigation that I did.
Say it, Dionne.
They should have to go through the same thing. Why is it separate? You are privileged to national security information. Why doesn't it make sense for them to have some kind of sensitive background investigation?
Yeah. And more privilege than the janitor. I mean, the janitor's just picking up what gets thrown away. You're getting it straight from the horse's mouth. You're actually engaging with these international figures. You're actually seeing the information directly. So it's just so dangerous, the situation we as Americans have allowed, and I will say this specifically, we as Americans have allowed. They did it to us, but we slept on the job while they did it to us. And so it is time for us to demand the accountability of our politicians.
Yes.
And that's why they keep us so divided, because we can't demand anything if we're fighting with each other.
Real talk. Come on, Suze.
But if we stand side by side, all of a sudden our demands as the American people have teeth.
The American people.
That's right.
Stand up. Hey, like I always say, Suzanne, immigration without assimilation is an invasion.
Yep, 100%.
It is what it is. You want to change my God. You want to change my way of life. You even want to go into the schools and change the food that is served.
Right.
Well,
You're not willing
you want to
do
go to the grocery stores and
hell.
food. You want to. You don't want me to walk a dog in my neighborhood anymore because dogs offend you.
Nigga, what?
That's not the country we have. The country we have is live and let live.
Live
You
and
do
let live.
you, I do me. As long as I ain't stepping on your toes or crapping on your lawn, my business ain't your business. And that's
Right.
our country. And if you don't like that, you're in the wrong country.
I had a guy in Harrisonburg. He's Kurdish, and he goes, "You have a dog in your house?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I will never come in your house." I said, "I never invited you."
Nigga.
It is what it is.
Go ahead and that.
Yeah. You don't like people eating bacon? That's great. More for me. You know what I'm saying?
More for me, nigga.
Save me the bacon. I will eat every piece of bacon, you Muslims and Jews, whoever doesn't eat bacon. You don't want your bacon? Just hand it over this way. I got it.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna start loading my shotgun shells with bacon bits.
They make that, you know. They make a bullet with bacon dust in it.
Oh, I want bacon bits. I want the hard ones, the fake.
Those would actually hurt. Like salt pellets. Like what if they made salt pellet guns, but bacon pellets? That would hurt.
Yeah, bacon.
In a very delicious way.
You know what, man? I'm so sad of this country, and all I want is unity. I mean, I don't get a lot of hate on my page because I don't waste my time arguing with people. I give them a logical answer, and they usually go away.
One time they can argue me, and I'll bring it on.
I ain't gonna argue it.
I will.
But here's my thing, Mo. If they have to name call or curse, then your point is invalid in my eyes. That means you have nothing else. You're reaching.
That's right.
That means you've admitted defeat.
Yeah. Well, and it's the thing people always ask me, Suzanne, you block people who come on your page and just spew hate. Isn't that crushing free speech? And I'm like, well, no, it's my page. You know, that's the first point. But secondly, it's not just about me. I don't think it's healthy for you as a troll to be over here so mad because you don't like the gap between my teeth, or you don't like the hat that I'm wearing, or you don't like the bra I'm wearing that day. Whatever insult you have for me for the day, that's not healthy. That's mentally messing yourself up. So I'm gonna help you out. And I will block you so that if
I make the trolls famous.
I know you do. I know you do.
They're scared. They're scared. I said, bring your bitch ass up here and get cussed out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They won't even come up.
Oh, wow.
They won't.
And you know, the good thing about this rally for people who are watching, you see that all three of us have different approaches of how we do things. Right, and that is what you're going to get out of this rally. You're going to get a lot of different people who are on the same page. But we all have different approaches, and we all have different information. Yeah. And what we want you to do by coming to this rally, not only have a good time and celebrate America, but learn something. Research after you leave. Don't take my word for it after I talk to you. Research it, check it out, because I'm not going to tell you nothing wrong. I want you to check it out. I want you to verify anything that I've ever told you. That's why I don't get any backlash in my videos, because I'm not telling you anything false.
Yep. The only thing we all have in common is that flag behind Maurice. That's what we have in common.
I got a Confederate flag. I broke the Confederate flag just to piss everybody off.
I got mine just because I was afraid they'd stop allowing.
I don't care about a Confederate flag. I just want to piss everybody off.
Well,
I gotta give me Betsy Ross flag.
Yeah. I like my shirt. Like I got my shirt.
Look, I got a Confederate flag.
Well, you saw my vest.
One of my favorite ones. Where's
did you see the vest I had on the day before I saw you on Sunday?
Yes, the flag vest. That's awesome.
Right. Yeah, the one thing we have in common that we want to continue to be able to celebrate who we are and have our different approaches and still live in a world in peace. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't want war with anybody, but most importantly, nobody wants war with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Of course they won't war with you because you tell the damn truth.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's the truth, and people. I have people all the time try to Google and check this and check that. I don't tell you nothing that's incorrect. And I've done many videos and nobody's ever came out, Dionne, that's wrong. No, it's not. I know it's not wrong.
Yep.
Listen, everybody. I'm going to say it right here.
Because let me tell you this, Maurice, I go to this place. It's a wonderful place that a lot of people don't go to. It's called a damn library. And nobody's there but me. Next. You can't change a book. You can alter the internet any way you want, but you can't change a book.
That's right.
Next.
So I go to the library. There ain't nobody in there but me, because kids don't read books anymore. But the books are still there. The library's still there. The librarian's still there. She lonely as hell,
Yeah.
but she dead because ain't nobody else there.
This is why I have this book. This is why I have a copy of the Quran right here. People are like, well, you don't say positive things about Islam. Well, but I have the book here so I can open it up and look. I can read the words themselves. I don't have to trust what somebody else has said about it. I can read it. And I have the Bible. I have the Tanakh. I have the Talmud. I have the Bhagavad Gita. I have literally almost every religious text known to man here in my library because you can get that information for yourself if you know how to use a brain.
Right. And that is important. Get the information yourself. Quit cutting and pasting. You can't cut and paste everything. Do you cut and paste a cake and put it on your table? No, you got to bake it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to read something and bake it.
Anybody wants some final thoughts that come here and get cussed out, if you're liberal or not, I'll put the link. If you want to do a last minute call in, then come in. It's free. It's open. The call in is open, y'all. I put it here.
Hey, you know the great thing about a library too, Mo? It's free. All y'all crying about free stuff, the library's free. Go over there. That should start on your free stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nigga, what?
And you know what I noticed what the media has done, Mo? And
come on.
If you ever notice, I'm not the first to put out information because I like to absorb it and hear the whole story. Yes. The media is not about truth. They're about first now.
Mm-hmm.
And first ain't good. Mm-hmm. First is not good.
No.
They want to be the first one to put something out. Just like all these fake Amazon fires Suzanne was talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. Somebody tweeted it. What the hell does Leonardo DiCaprio know about Amazon? And the media believes in, oh, look what he did. He over there. He ain't at no Amazon. He's not in the Amazon. And they want to be the first one to pop it up there.
You dumbasses. Ooh,
right. They want to be the first one to pop it up there. They want to be first instead of accurate.
Right.
And that is the problem with the media. They want to be first instead of accurate.
Yeah, and it's so stupid because here's what happens. You come out first, you come out with the inaccurate story, then somebody is the first to come out with the real information, and you just look like a dumbass. So
but they don't care.
First helps you when you're wrong.
But they don't care. They don't care. They don't care if they got it wrong. They don't care.
You remember when they used to retract stuff? They'd come and apologize. You don't see that anymore. There should be
laws in place to hold the media accountable for putting out fake information.
Yes.
The Charlottesville paper, I forgot what it's called. They had an attack. Two guys attacked a girl or something. It had nothing. And they had me and Corey Stewart's picture up there with our names under there, and we had nothing to do with the article.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that, Mo?
No. Spit it, bro.
Had my name. There was some kind of attack,
brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the girl grabbed his phone and he took it back, and so they did that story that they were prosecuted. But they had a picture of me and Corey Stewart in Charlottesville with our names under the pictures, but we had nothing to do with the article.
And they'll bring in things like that into the article. Sometimes you'll read articles and they'll talk about the incident, particularly a lot of the political violence that's going on. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, Trump this, or this politician this, or these Trump supporters, Laura Loomer is causing, they're not even in the situation. They're not even in the state. They're not anywhere near. Right. It's literally an assault, but somehow they have to bring the political angle in. And that is what is causing this physical violence. Everyone says the country is so divided. There's so much division. There's all this, rallies and stuff that are turning into riots. And we saw what happened in Portland, and we see what happened in Berkeley. And they blame the president. It's the media. It's the media saying it's okay to disagree with somebody with a fist in their face. It's the media who brings in the political issue when it's really just a matter of assault. Look, we can disagree all we want. We can scream and yell at each other. But as soon as you swing a fist, it doesn't have anything to do with politics anymore. It has to do with the laws of assault. You've assaulted me. That has nothing to do with what we were talking about. But if you bring the politics into it, that makes people think it's okay to attack people because they disagree with you. And that is a very dangerous thing that has happened in our country. And we've got to change that. We don't have safe our First Amendment is not safe right now. It is at risk.
You got politicians who are making it very clear. Didn't Maxine Waters say, hey, attack conservatives wherever they go? She made it clear. You didn't have to read into that. You heard exactly what she said.
Yep.
But that's okay.
Right.
That's why I feel it's okay. If you touch me, I'm knocking you the fuck out. It's okay for me to say that now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's why I wear a helmet when I'm going to see too many lefties. That's why I wear the damn helmet. Because that's where, look, I can take a punch here, but the noggin, that needs to stay safe.
Look, Susan, let me tell you this. I had a girl spit at me, and I told her, if it gets on me, I hope you have health insurance.
Mm-hmm.
I pray. She goes, you would hit a woman? I'm like, nope, but I'll slap a bitch.
My nigga. Oh, I said that word.
Yeah, you spit on me.
Mm-hmm.
My nigga.
Look, man, I'm tired of conservatives, especially conservative white men being afraid to defend themselves. That's what they're doing to you. They're telling you not to do it. While they bust you in the head with sticks and throw bottles at you filled with cement.
Yeah. Nigga, what?
Well, and let's be honest.
Really?
Who is protecting? Let's be honest. Who should be protecting us? The right to free speech is something that the government needs to protect. There's only a few things in this little bitty book that the government is supposed to do. They're supposed to protect the borders. But one of the things that's very clear here in this First Amendment, they're supposed to protect our right to free speech. So when you have a situation like the mayor in Portland, luckily this rally was a little better, but for many rallies in the past, no protections, no divisions. And Mo and I have been in Chicago. Look, there's plenty of lefties in Chicago. We've stood across the street from thousands of angry Democrats across the street with law enforcement keeping us at our safe distances so we can each have our right to free speech. But when our government, when our politicians tell our law enforcement to stand down and they are no longer protecting that right to free speech, that's what's really dangerous. That's what happened when I went to go and protest Jason Kessler at the Unite the Right 2 rally right in front of the White House. They didn't have any law enforcement on the left side of the fence where I had to stand because I wasn't with Kessler. Me and my husband, surrounded by all the lefties. We had to be marched out a block away. That's how far it was before the nearest cop could be reached. So it was a very dangerous situation because the law enforcement, we must be holding our local officials accountable to protecting our right to free speech. It's written in the Constitution. It's a federal issue, but it is a local issue. Protecting your right to free speech happens right there in your county, in your city, in your state.
Well said. Well said. Thaddeus, what's your feedback on that?
Man, I tell you what, I was in Charlottesville when that whole mess went down. And, Suzanne's absolutely right. Yeah. The cops were told to stand down. Mm-hmm. And not only did they stand down, but they pushed the two groups together.
Yes.
So I know this for a fact. I saw it. So it's like they want the division. They want the chaos so they can bring up another issue. They didn't talk about the hundreds of conservatives with stitches and busted heads and stuff.
No.
Because there were hundreds that were injured.
Well, and somebody died that day. I mean, whether you agree with her side of the political fence or not, or even know what side of political fence she was on, because they did not secure that area for everyone to have free speech, somebody died that day. So it's already turned deadly. It's already turned deadly. And it's only going to get worse if we don't stand up for it. That's why I was really proud to see what happened in the last Portland rally. The Patriots did a good job coming in and leaving, being engaged with the law enforcement. What ended up happening, Antifa ended up rioting by themselves.
Right. Well, I heard Jason Kressler had like 5 people.
It was 12. And we all screamed at him together. And it was funny because we're all screaming, and I'm screaming at him, and the lefties are all screaming at him, and they turn around and see me in my Trump Pence helmet and my Trump 2020 t-shirt, and they look for a minute. It took about an hour before people really started surrounding us and getting upset. And what brought it really on was the media wanting to talk to us and featuring, oh, you guys are Trump supporters. What are you doing here? So it really ultimately was the media that featured that division enough to make everyone aware and surround us all and bring the attack on. The media is dividing us. When the president,
Right.
the media is the enemy of the people. He's not saying that out of a partisan situation. He is saying that out of fact. They are pitting us against each other, and people are getting hurt and killed because of it.
Yes.
Well, you got to look at it soon. I look at it like this. I see cable TV dying. People are going more and more to streaming.
Right.
They're starting to realize that all of these big money mainstream media outlets that make all this money off of advertisement have an agenda. And they're starting to seek out independent journalists. They're starting to seek out streaming services. Who needs to pay $200 for cable when you got the internet and an antenna?
Right. Yeah.
You know, so they're going to lose in the end. And I think that's our first step. And our second step is to start having run for office, start supporting each other and getting normal people in the office. I mean, I've teased with it. So they're still coming at me about running for mayor, Prince William County, or even governor next year. I'm too honest. I'll be shot in a week.
Right. And on both sides, we have the Democrats to do that too. I tell people all the time when I meet somebody who says I'm a Democrat, I go, please fix your party. Please find some citizens who want to run for office, who can replace these lifelong elitist politicians. Please. We're not going to survive if it only happens on one side of the aisle. All of us, all of America, Americans themselves need to start valuing citizens as government. It says right here, we the people. We the people. This is the government by, of, and for the people. That is the gift we were given. And politicians in office for life are not what the founders intended.
Well, this is what we're getting to. So politicians on both sides are going to continue to lie because they have to lie to us. They have to lie to us for the simple fact that we have the Second Amendment.
Next.
And with just registered gun owners, I'm not talking about hunters, just those registered gun owners make up a larger army than any other country other than China.
That's right.
Now, they'll start telling you the truth once they get these red flag laws passed and they take your weapons. But then right then, it'll be too late.
Yeah. And just think about the concept of the red flag law. They're literally saying that somebody can be so crazy that they might shoot up somebody. They're at risk to harm other people. But we don't want to take that person and put them in a mental health facility and get them the help they need. We just want to take away their guns. And what happens? You had a guy in Illinois had his guns taken away, and he killed his wife with a sword. It's not going to stop somebody who's crazy who wants to kill people. We've taken away the mental health care that these people need. If you're so crazy that we don't trust you with a gun, we can't trust you with a car, a knife, a hammer. By the way, hammer, the most used weapon to assault and kill people in the United States. It's not a gun, it's a hammer, boo-boos.
Wow. Hammer.
Hammer.
Well, I think, Suzanne, look, they can come and take my gun. They can try. I mean, a lot of people say, take it from my cold damn hands. 90% of them are going to give it up.
Right.
Well, it depends on how I'm surrounded, whether I'll give it to you or not. But did you forget that I was in the military? I know how to make a bomb, but I need a damn gun for it. You know, there are so many other ways to do things.
Look, we've forgotten about the Saturday Night Special. You guys are both old enough to know what a Saturday Night Special is. It was a handgun, criminally made, and it was made shoddy, so it was very likely to backfire in the user's hand. It was very dangerous.
Right.
Just because I can't get a gun that's made by Smith & Wesson or Rutgers or whatever doesn't mean I can't get a gun.
Well, you can make a pop gun. A pop gun's very easy. Shoot shotgun shell. Very simple.
That's what I'm saying.
There's so many things in here. I'm more accurate with my recurve bow than I am with my rifle. There's so many things that you can do. So and people say, well, there's no reason for anybody to have a high-powered weapon like that. Well, the Second Amendment, we're supposed to have equivalent weapons as the government.
Let's review that.
A grenade launcher.
Look, I got it in here because I always do this. I read and make sure that the Second Amendment hasn't changed since I closed the book. And it says a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. I didn't notice it said anything about crazy people. I didn't notice it said except for assault weapons. And I check it every time, and it never seems to include all this stuff they want to exclude from me. The government has a Moab. Why don't I have a Moab? Now, I know that sounds ridiculous, but this is what the founders actually intended. And the reality of the situation is it really isn't about whether or not we can outgun the government because we have more money than we do. It is about the fact, and we saw this with the Bundy Ranch situation, we've seen it a few times. It is about the fact that if I'm armed, the government has to then make a choice to attack me with physical force. And that choice is a lot easier if I can shoot back, even with my one little gun. It's a lot harder to make that choice from the government standpoint than it is if I have no weapon whatsoever.
Well, they realized on the Bundy Ranch, here's the problem that the government has. Although they're well funded and they're better armed, there's not as many people.
That's right.
And they learned that when they went on the Bundy Ranch. Like, whoa, where all these fools come from?
Yeah.
Next.
Don't mess with my redneck rural folks. Do not mess with my redneck rural folks. We will all show up armed.
What? Anything?
I'm telling you what.
You fuckers. Come on with it, goddammit. Come on. Don't get me fucking started.
Mo, I'm from I'm from Appalachia, Tennessee. You go on up there you want to. You know that song Rocky Top? Yeah, there's a lot of places to hide people.
Sweetheart, please, just while we're here in Prince George County, I drive through the forest every day. There's a lot of people hide right over here. And frankly, they hide bodies in the Chicago River all day long. So pretty much anywhere you are, it ain't that hard to hide people.
Well, the bears eat them up there.
That's why I don't go in the forest.
Yeah,
right?
the bears eat them up there. You go ahead and let the bears finish them off. Look, there's a lot of pig farmers. I ain't never seen them sell one ham. So I don't know what he's doing all them hogs.
Just saying.
It's craziness, man. But hopefully this rally turns out and people come out and just celebrate. I don't expect any controversy from Antifa or anything like that. I think it will be fine. I think it'll be wonderful.
Fine, y'all. Hey, look, I'm about to start off in this video, y'all. What's your last words before in this video?
Well, one last thing I want to mention, everybody, when you come out, you're gonna be in for a treat because in addition to the rally, the Washington Monument will actually finally be open after many years of being closed and being repaired. You'll be able to go and see the inside of the Washington Monument and enjoy that big, beautiful view. So come to DC, enjoy the nation's capital. This is America's.
Yes.
This is our home.
Yes.
As a resident, I want to invite all of you to come out and enjoy it with me and have a wonderful time. Loving America.
Okay, Dionne.
All I want to say is I'm looking forward to see everybody on September 28th. But as we lead up to that and afterwards, I want people to continue to support citizen journalists such as myself, Will Johnson, Mo Dell, Suzanne Monk, and others that are out there pushing truth and trying to bring this country back together.
Thank you.
You come out, you'll notice we're not bad people. I talk to everybody. Suzanne will tell you that. But I really need people to continue not only supporting the citizen journalists, but also supporting each other.
Yep. That's right.
So everybody come to the channel and we promote this. Before in this feed, Dionne, what you gotta say? Suzanne, what you gotta say?
I love this country, man, and I love each and every one of you. The one thing I love about this movement is that it has brought some amazing people into my life. And I am so very grateful to know so many great Americans. We didn't call it the America First Rally. We called it American. First. It's about
yes.
about this family I got right here. I consider each of you my family.
All right, Dionne, what's your take on this video?
I'm just going to tell you like this, man. I know we're talking politics and we're talking unity, but after the rally, Dionne likes to turn up. So if you want to turn up with me, I am going to turn up. I'm going to take my hat off.
No one. He said they say I said it. Bye, Felicia. Bye. Video is cut off right now, and